Some basic school children are still studying under trees, either because their classroom blocks are in poor shape or governments have simply failed to provide them with decent ones. In the health sector, women still die during childbirth due to the lack of quality healthcare delivery. Hospitals lack basic equipment, including common beds. Roads across the country are in poor shape and need urgent reconstruction and rehabilitation for easy carting of farm produce from rural Ghana to urban centers. Again, potable water and access to electricity are still challenges confronting majority of residents in rural Ghana. Yet, the country expends money in the name of judgment debts. So we do know that an amount of $283 million have been paid as judgment debt over the last 4 years. Now, these judgment debts, when they do arise, it is the taxpayer who pays for these monies and not the politicians. Reason why citizens should be more concerned. For Chief Executive Officer of the African Graduate School of Management and Leadership, Professor David Abdullahi, it is a leadership problem.
Most of the countries that we had independence with or before have moved ahead. Take Korea, we had independence before Korea. Their GDP per capita was about $50 or $60. Look at where they are today. Take Malaysia. Malaysia even assembles their own cars. And they are way ahead. There's no village that you go that the roads are not tarred. Their schools are very good, and we are now trying to emulate them. I'm sorry. It's the failure of leadership to rise up to the challenge of leadership.
Executive Director of Star Ghana, a civil society organization, Ibrahim Tanko Amidu, says not only is judgment debt criminal, but also threatens the country's socio-economic development.
The conflicts that we are seeing in neighboring countries, some of them are as a result of people feeling left out, that they are not getting access to the development that is taking place. And so what do? They create confusion. Judgment debts could lead to instability in this country. Judgment debts are retarding our progress and deepening poverty, and judgment debts are undermining confidence in our governance.
He and Professor David Abdullahi want citizens to be angry enough and hold governments accountable to help fight the canker.
Unless the citizens of this country get angry enough and say this cannot continue, and therefore they hold their representatives, parliaments accountable, they hold the executive accountable, until the media also decides to focus on this, not as a one-off story, but a continued engagement with the issue. We will not gain the kind of traction and the leverage that is needed to make a change.
As our people become democratically aware, then we can hold these politicians accountable when they misbehave. And that includes rising up and making sure that they are prosecuted and put in jail.
Parliament has also been urged to be interested after approval of contracts.
So where is Parliament in all this? In passing or in agreeing to contracts that sometimes turn out to be very bad contracts. But also in keeping quiet when these things are abrogated. Because if you come to me for permission to go and do something, I give you the permission. You get there and you realize that that thing cannot be done. What is the right thing to do? Is to come back to me and say, what you have approved, we can't do it. So we are going somewhere else. But Parliament approves. Then the executive decides that, no, we won't do this, we are cancelling it. And then we are.
Yape Kusogu MP John Jinapo agrees, noting monies paid as judgment debts could be used for development.
Going forward, we should put in place mechanisms that ensure that before such contracts are abrogated, Parliament is informed. Because Parliament that approved it, or after such contracts are abrogated, Parliament is informed. So that if Parliament ought to step in and do something, that August House will do that. Monies that would have been used for infrastructure projects, for health projects, education, agriculture, boosting the economy, and improving the living conditions of the ordinary Ghanaian would have to be channeled to pay this amount. And these are not small figures.
So it is that arbitrariness in decision-making that I think we need to fight as a country.
Some have argued that judgment debts usually could be avoided, with many blaming political leaders as being insensitive to the plight of the citizenry, majority of whom live on less than 5 cedis a day.
My money is going to be packed as a taxpayer, or maybe my mom or my dad, or maybe my friends. You go to the villages, there are more schools out there that is in a really bad shape.
We should try and see we are in an era Ghanaians we are suffering. Looking at the market sector and stuff, it's not easy. So with this debt paying, it's not easy for us.
Those monies can be used to do other things for us. We the youth can set some companies for us to do, but it always come and they always pay the judgment debts. It's very bad. It's really costing the nation a lot of money.
But if public outcry through new and traditional media isn't enough, how else could citizens have a say? Evelyn Tenkma, TV3 News, Accra.